Challenges the AEW Continental Champion, Jon Moxley, for the title.
Moxley, Bandito.
Bandito lining him up for the 21. Wires it, Brody the top. 2, 3, Bandito takes it. And we won! We won! We beat that Ryder! Bandito. Bandito. Jon Moxley puts his AEW Continental Championship on the line against Bandito. Jon Moxley can't kill my fighting spirit. Bandito will have an opportunity for that right now.
Moxley. What's up, y'all? I just started watching right when Hangman Adam Page won. That was good. I forgot what time it started. I was a little bit behind, so you'll have to excuse me.
Bandito grew up watching Jon Moxley. Upon meeting one of his heroes, he realized just how damn hard that man hits. I asked Bandito what else he's been able to learn being in the ring with the leader of the Death Riders the last few weeks. He said tonight he changes his game plan. Tonight he's going to hit that even harder.
What's going on, y'all? Who's your favorite wrestler in AEW? I think I got 5. I think Jon Moxley is one of them. Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Swerve. Shit. There's so many good ones. It's kind of hard to choose. I don't know who I would put on my AEW Mount Rushmore.
Tennessee Knights. Jon Moxley is a fighting champion and a man who is looking to put results on the board. The AEW Continental title on the line tonight.
Tony competes. Moxley sets an example as the leader of the Death Riders. Looking at the heart, and so will Bandito. A lot of charity work in his hometown, Mexico City. He runs a gym. He gives free lessons and shows for those that can't afford it. A true hero and inspiration. Against his inspiration, perhaps.
I would love to go to an AEW pay-per-view, but
Continental Championship in tow, but easier said than done.
we'll see.
Tie-up.
I went to
First touch in this
SummerSlam
match.
in Cleveland back in
We're gonna be talking about the
2024.
Death
That
Riders
was,
a lot,
that
not
was
just about
fire.
this match, but in our upcoming matchup, the IWGP Global Heavyweight title. And I think Jon Moxley really trying to set the stage for Pac when he challenges Shota Umino later on here tonight. Shota Umino, former protege of Jon Moxley, by some accounts, the very first Death Rider, but he was cast out.
Appreciate if y'all hit the like button and subscribe and all that good stuff.
Breaks down the vertical base of Bandito to the mat. Bandito, though, up into a bridge. And Nigel allowing himself to pivot around and then find his feet.
Yep, creating a little bit of space from the Continental Champion as Moxley, I don't want to say apathetic, but very cautious, very slow-moving and methodical. He knows how capable Bandito is when the pace quickens. We'll see what he does with this. Takes aim.
Well, Nigel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know Jon Moxley to have much experience in the world of lucha libre.
You know, he might be right there.
Jon Moxley has competed in Mexico. But
Wait a second.
most of the time when he's competing in Mexico, it resembles more of a Death Rider match than it does something you'd see on a typical Friday night in Arena Mexico.
That speaks to Moxley and his MO. Whatever match he's in, he tries to make it his style of match, and that's a smart decision from a veteran.
Side headlock taken. Bandito comes in, the shoulder tackle. Moxley allows the challenger to just basically bounce off of him.
You know, Moxley,
Moxley splits the uprights. Well, there's
Real feeling out process. Early goings there. Well, this is interesting.
drawing the proverbial line in the sand. Bandito crosses the line with an overhand shot.
Is this Bandito's right strategy? Trying to exchange strikes with one of the most violent and dangerous men from a step in an AEW ring.
Nigel, it's a great point. Jon Moxley is a psychological mastermind. We know Bandito to be the type to go 1,000 miles a minute when he gets the opportunity to. You're not going to be able to move 1,000 miles a minute with shots like this coming your direction. Moxley allowing, inviting Bandito to play Moxley's game. Bandito, as talented of a wrestler as he is, I'm not sure he can weather a long storm from Moxley. Moxley now changing levels to the body. Trying perhaps to get Bandito to drop his hands, but instead, it's Bandito with a drop kick. And Moxley, to the outside, no. Bandito pivots there, and Moxley comes back around, drop kick to the knee, sends Bandito down to the floor. And now it's Moxley. Whoa! Tope Suicida. Perhaps harkening back to Moxley's time he spent in Arena Mexico, Nigel.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it?
I gotta show y'all something.
Into his style, making it about strikes.
I don't think y'all seen this.
Almost took one out of the playbook of his opponent, Bandito. There's Tope through the middle there, but wait a second.
Yeah, where's that?
With one of his own over the top and connecting with Moxley on the floor. Bandito is a blink and you'll miss him type of athlete.
I don't know if I showed y'all this before.
Bandito could be adding another belt to his collection, another
I
championship.
went to
This
get
match
a
continues at
picture
this
and
rate.
autograph with this guy.
Talked about how Moxley
I
wants to
might
slow
know him.
this match down. He cannot match the pace of Bandito. Bandito. Moxley.
Hey, Funko, what's going on? Thanks for
him
stopping
down.
by.
Excalibur, what did I tell you earlier? Moves 1,000 miles
I
a
even
minute. You're
got
not gonna
him
be
to
able to stop
sign
him
my
unless
hat.
he takes shots like that.
One of my hats.
Moxley sends Bandito out to the floor.
That's fire.
Anytime the action starts heading in this direction, it gets a little tense, Nigel.
Yeah,
He's
there.
older.
Oh,
He's got gray
you
hair
understand
now.
why Bandito might be a little tense after.
I was talking about you and I.
Oh, okay. Either way, the tension is beginning to rise. Oh, now what's Moxley thinking of it yet? Power driver on this one.
Moxley
I don't know why people get on YouTube and think,
Moxley is able to land this.
people really get on YouTube thinking somebody's gonna show the stream on the pay-per-view. Like, I ain't stupid.
And even though this is
I ain't trying to get no copyright strike or none of that.
Nigel, John Moxley there, as vicious as
It might
he
be
was,
okay for you,
simply
but
employed a part of the
that's
environment.
part of their
To his benefit.
guidelines.
And look at Moxley now. You know, if he's just staying warm, limber, having fun.
And referee Aubrey Edwards on the outside
Oh,
conversing with
thanks.
Bandito,
Thanks, Funko.
seeing if he is able to continue after. Oh no, Bandito.
Ooh,
Bandito that
he busted open.
steps, opening up a laceration on his head. Can't tell if it's above the
goodness.
mask or no.
Is he biting him?
Biting the head of Bandito.
Moxley was intimating that there was something.
Trying to rip his mask off.
There certainly is.
And tearing at the mask of Bandito. I can tell you from experience, gentlemen, that if
And he
the
wore
wound is
all
inside the
white,
mask,
too.
that is worst case scenario for Bandito, because then it starts bleeding down into your eyes more freely than the other way around.
John Moxley has long been considered a sick, twisted bastard. The proof is on your television screens as we speak right now.
Moxley now tearing at the
Oh,
mask.
oh,
You gotta be kidding me.
And of course, in Mexico, this would result in instant disqualification for John Moxley. However, that is not part of the rules here in AEW.
But Moxley's a man with no compunction, no
oh.
boundaries
Come on,
whatsoever.
Bandito. Take it to him.
Dark charisma that has enticed many people to follow him in the Death Riders.
Bandito struggling to get upright, and perhaps will have to struggle keeping his mask in place as well. It's a battle that he cannot afford to fight on two fronts, Nigel.
It really weakens the Ring of Honor World Champion. A luchador's mask is sacrosanct. His anonymity, some would say, it gives him his power, his strength, his belief.
But I mean, it's not just about that, Nigel. It's also about respecting tradition, not just of lucha libre, but of Mexican heritage, Mexican culture. And it's something that Bandito is very proud of, but something that John Moxley perhaps is looking to take away from his challenger.
Bandito, actually a fourth generation star. Here's a cover. Nope.
Seth Moxley just lining up those knuckles, targeting that laceration on the head of Bandito.
I truly believe somewhere in the mind of John Moxley, he's thinking that Bandito would make a hell of a Death Rider in a different universe. But Bandito has chosen, a walk of life that looks nothing like this. There's no reason. And John Moxley needs to be laying in these egregious shots here.
Using the forearms, the elbows to try to widen that laceration, force more blood to leave the head, the body of Bandito.
I think it was perhaps the respect that Bandito had for John Moxley that led him to follow the breadcrumbs, if you will, to this type of match. He's given Moxley a clear advantage. Wide open. Count along, if you will. Uno. boss.
Thanks, Falco.
Cinco.
I appreciate it.
He's going to sink the champion.
Oh, Moxley continuing to land more shots. That interview I mentioned earlier, Bandito said John Moxley can't kill my fighting spirit. Moxley certainly appears to be attempting to, at least, but Moxley across the ring.
Now Bandito. As he is being willed on by everybody here in San Jose. Instead of being able to follow up, first watch the impact. What he didn't see is after that, Bandito's slow to follow up because he had to adjust his mask to try to protect his anonymity.
Moxley is again using those elbow strikes to the top of the head and lighting. Come on! This is
He got blood all over.
That's the man that the AEW Continental Champion is.
He's an animal. He's a pig.
He's seen.
Full sky twisted from Bandito. Takes Moxley down and Bandito follows up. Now the pace quickens. Moxley finds himself on the defensive. Bandito. Moxley as the challenger. Bandito answers with a drop kick. But Nigel, has more blood leaves the body of Bandito, oxygen, breathing is harder to come by for the challenger.
That's exactly right. Blood carries that ever vital oxygen through the muscles, which then have to propel the body forward.
Bandera. Oh no, instead, Bandito comes in, knee strike, cover made, 2. Moxley able to kick out.
Not the best technique when it comes to a pinning attempt, but you can understand why. To your point, Excalibur. Now the challenger got to start to be feeling a little bit lightheaded.
I think the one advantage that Bandito may have is the fact that you brought up that he trains in Mexico City, far, far above sea level where we are here today in San Jose. So perhaps a little better condition than a champion.
Look what that conditioning can get you.
And to the top with ease.
Bandito on the climb. On the move. Wasting too much time, and Moxley greets him with knees.
He may look like a brawler and a street fighter alone, but Moxley, one of the smartest competitors to ever compete in the squared circle.
And that blood that is on the head and body of John Moxley does not belong to him. That is the blood of Bandito.
That blood for John Moxley, though, is going to serve as a life force no matter who it belongs to here at Excalibur.
Most certainly seems Moxley gets awakened by the smell, the taste of blood, whether it's his or his opponent. And now Moxley, again, with a face from Bandito answers one of his own.
Damn.
Raising blow. That was a little bit more on top.
And Moxley cannot confirm with that one. Bandito though steals himself. Suplex. Bandito with an opening. If he can
Wait a second,
capitalize.
look where Moxley is. Oh no.
Bandito, 21 blocks, but
Damn.
got knocked out of his boots by John Moxley. Now Moxley, the double underhook.
Knocked him out of his boots.
Warriors. 1, 2, 3. No!
And you don't see that every day. Talk about the spirit of Bandito. It's on display tonight in San Jose.
I'd like to take another look at that high impact. Right at the back of the neck, across the shoulders of the challenger, and Moxley takes aim once again.
Bandito drawing in those reserves, the fighting spirit as he called it. How much more does he have left? Can Moxley empty the tank? Not often you see someone survive a Death Rider, Nigel. But Moxley, perhaps with something more sinister in store for the challenger.
It's usually people on the inside, on the middle rope, who are looking for the offensive maneuver. Moxley on the outside, and oh no, he's got to be in for a Death Rider of sorts.
I think Moxley looked over his shoulder at the steel steps that are still out of place on the floor.
Talk about no compunction. Moxley's willing to end a man's dream.
Bandito is embodying that Moxley spirit. There is a Death Rider energy burning deep.
Oh boy.
Bandito, Moxley on the top. What is Bandito?
Pictures. Oh my God.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Come on, come on. 1, 2. Moxley, his turn to escape.
Moonstone battery, the charges did not stick. What a moment for Bandito tonight.
Decision still hangs in the balance. Take a look at this. A big risk, but it certainly paid off with a big reward. The body weight of Bandito driven into the ribcage of the champion.
And meanwhile, Jon Moxley doing what would otherwise be natural, pulling himself up with the assistance of the ropes, but in doing so, puts himself in jeopardy as Bandito looking at 21 plex, but now he slipped. I believe the blood from Bandito caused him to slip over the body of Jon Moxley. Now Moxley dragging Bandito through the ropes. Boy, Bandito counters the roll up the rope through, but now Moxley transitions around.
Doggedly gripping, rear naked choke, now a bulldog choke.
Jon Moxley, the Bulldog, cinched in tight. Bandito could be fading rapidly here.
Moxley's got to try to drive forward with his hips. He lets his opponent back to his feet. That's going to give Bandito plenty of leverage to get out of this hole.
Now the crossface shots on the bridge of the nose of Bandito. Moxley once again strengthens his grip, strengthens his hold on his challenger, Bandito. We could be witnessing that fighting spirit fade and be extinguished by Jon Moxley. But look at Bandito, though, carrying the weight of the champion.
The weight of the world on the shoulders of the challenger here tonight for the Continental title.
Bandito somehow, some way carrying Moxley while trapped in the grip, and now Bandito over Moxley.
Now, that was a Hail Mary shot for Bandito, but Moxley's held in too tight here.
And Bandito actually got tighter in. The full body
a tremendous effort by Bandito. I don't want to say a calculated risk at the end, Nigel. I think that was a last-ditch effort by the challenger to try to escape the grip of Jon Moxley, but in doing so, only put himself in deeper water.
Against 99 other men, he would have escaped the hole, but Moxley, perfect body positioning to cinch the hold in China and knock out his opponent with the choke.
Whether you like it or not, Jon Moxley, for years and years on years to come, has been on a different level. Remaining AEW Continental Champion, that is going to be a nice feather in the cap of the Death Riders as we move on throughout our card here at Excalibur.
On top, Brody King at ringside attending to Bandito. And Moxley waved off Brody. And Nigel, there is one way to earn the respect of a Death Rider, and that is to fight and bleed with them.
By the looks of things, that's exactly what Bandito has done. He earned the respect of Jon Moxley, but not his Continental title. A tough loss for Bandito, but the reign of Jon Moxley as AEW Continental Champion continues. And just look off the monitor of the ring, I see Bandito. For days to come, but Jon Moxley, that man remains your AEW Continental Champion. But from the Continental Championship to Jon Moxley, to a man who is considered to be perhaps the very first Death Rider, Walker Stewart, Shota Umino, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion.
14 days ago, Shota Umino won his first singles championship, his first career title in professional wrestling. The IWGP Global Heavyweight title is on the line. It's coming up next.
But on that same night, Nigel, Shota Umino forcefully expelled from any semblance of Death Rider membership by Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd making a statement, and we'll see what Shota Umino does with that as he takes on one of the Death Riders here tonight. The bastard pack intends on claiming the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. In order to do so, he will go through the man that 2 weeks ago earned that crown, Shota Umino.
Shota Umino, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I hope you got the message that Gabe sent to you.
Oh my God, what the hell? This man betrayed that line, Mark.
I bet you want revenge, don't you?
I'm giving the message to the Death Riders. You were never one of us. It was a total coup. Because we started our business.
Hey, can you know this now? I've been through India. Forbidden Door. I'll be there. Why don't you be there? And come fight for your honor. What's right? Why don't you bring in a line of BGP, Global Heavyweight Championship to mine? Boy, back here! Forbidden Door. All there. You have them all, and I want you to come while we do what we do.
His last encouragement from the Death Rider as he steps into this battle, a fight that he was allowed to pick due to the fact that Gabe Kidd is essentially the representative of the Death Riders, just like Shota Umino had strayed from the herd that he no longer represented what the Death Riders are all about.
And you can say for years that Shota Umino hasn't exactly wanted to be a Death Rider. He's wanted to lead the main unit, the on-site force in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But Shota Umino cannot shake these ties that he has to his past with Jon Moxley, the leader of the Death Riders. Gabe Kidd capitalizing on a very emotional weak point for Umino, just off the back of his career high back 14 days ago when he won that title. Tonight, here in Excalibur, we will see Pac challenge Shota Umino for the IWGP World Title.
resume of Shota Umino. The IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, of course, the IWGP International Wrestling Grand Prix, the governing body of all titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but the Global Championship, a relatively new title to the prestige, the history, the lineage of New Japan. Well, for fans of New Japan Pro Wrestling around a decade ago, you could consider it the spiritual successor to the IWGP Intercontinental Championship and the new white belt in the presence of Shota Umino, a man who defeated Andrade El Idolo 14 days ago. And trust me, gentlemen, Umino takes a lot of pride in defeating an AEW star to win in that global title back in Osaka. Tonight he defends it against Pac.
Pac immediately charging out of the corner of boot. I think Shota, he was looking over his shoulder, perhaps remnants of that attack from behind by Gabe Kidd, but that allowed Pac to immediately take control of this match, Nigel.
Yeah, and then right away, they're heading in our direction. Good look. Watch out.
Umino hard into the barricade.
Umino well aware of the MO of the Death Riders. I mentioned it. He was at one time a young boy of sorts of John Moxley, and it was Moxley that gave him the nickname Shota or Shooter, as the case may be. Since then has gone by the moniker of Roughneck, as a real brawler, a real fighter, but did not get out the gates thus far against the Perfect Soldier.
And truth be told, Shota Umino's gone through a lot of personal changes. It's been a very difficult journey for Umino to find himself in the course of the past 5 years, ever since he was taken under John Moxley's tutelage and wing. And a lot has changed for John Moxley. Umino now can call himself a champion for the first time in his pro wrestling career. And it is Umino who's not going to be let that title go anytime soon.
And Walker, it's almost as if Shota Umino, he strayed from the herd, he strayed from the foundation of New Japan Pro Wrestling by adopting those Death Rider ways, and over the last few years is just trying to make amends, a penance, if you will, to join, as you said, the main unit of New Japan Pro Wrestling as its leader.
That's certainly one way that you could put it. I mean, Shota Umino, for all he's said and done in his career, he's talked a lot of talk, but he's never been able to back it up inside the ring, even when he was with John Moxley and under that Death Rider tutelage, if you will. But all that changed 14 days ago, and Gabe Kidd putting that attack in on Shota Umino after Umino pinned an AEW wrestler in Andrade El Idolo. I think that Gabe Kidd,
There's a cover here, Michael Press.
I think Gabe Kidd is a man who was flying the lion mark high and prideful in New Japan, and now is saying, I'm AEW born, I'm AEW bred. I mean, it's been a total change in perspective all across the board here.
And Gabe Kidd, the consummate mercenary, he will go to wherever the prize is richest. Pac, he's a man who, albeit at different times, almost a cracked mirror version of the pro wrestling journey of Shota Umino. Of course, Pac, growing up in Newcastle, spent large portions of his career in Japan competing, learning the style. Likewise, Shota Umino, born in Japan, spent large portions of his career, I believe it was almost 5 years, that he spent competing in the UK.
It was in that European independence scene where these two men had their one and only singles matchup. It was for, at the time, what was known as the AEW All-Atlantic Championship that Pac had held at the time.
And go on to be known as the AEW International Championship, currently held by Konosuke Takeshita.
It's a classic journey. Classic journey for Japanese stars to head overseas. The great Satoru Siyama, Jushin Thunder Liger, spending plenty of time in the UK as well. But right now, this is getting into a real strike fest. A battle of wills.
Umino out of the corner, and instead turns things around on Pac. Elbows, chops, elbows, chops.
And the one and only time these two met in the singles capacity came in 2022 for that former All-Atlantic title, now the international title. And I mean, Shota Umino and Pac, for all that's been said and done here, Excalibur, they've changed so much over the course of those 4 years.
Very much so. I mean, Pac is, of course, a former All-Atlantic or international champion, two-time former AEW World Trios champion. He's a man that has never held gold in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now is his opportunity to do so. But not fisherman suplex, nice grip by Umino. And Shota Umino, Walker, is a man that has grown up around the sport of professional wrestling ever since a very young age.
Yeah, second-generation star. His father, referee Red Shoes Uno, over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Shota certainly has pro wrestling in his blood. And that is something that Gabe Kidd has certainly ripped on a little bit whenever he put that attack in back in Osaka 2 weeks ago.
Back body drop attempted. Shota counters. Near spot Pack sleeping there.
You gotta watch Shota Umino, this explosive offense you're gonna see, and keep your eye on this one.
Just like a regular DDT, but the weight of Umino coming over the top and the momentum of going all the way down to the floor.
There's a lot you can talk about between Shota Umino and Pac in terms of experience differential. I mean, the one tour that Pac did in New Japan in 2012, Shota Umino hadn't even started his pro wrestling career. I mean, that is the levels of experience we're talking about here for the challenger.
The official up to 7 here.
Walker, to your point, Pac with more than double the in-ring experience.
And you can see, I mean, we're looking at it right now, Excalibur. Taking it back to the outside, getting right into the mental of Shota Umino.
But now you know what this tells me, that Pac, when he got his bell rung by Shota.
Definitely a possibility. Slowly. Ding, ding.
The drop kick by Shota sends Pac hard into the barricade. You can see how far that barricade moved due to the impact.
Oh no. Top of the head.
A lot of head and neck trauma from Umino to Pac, and that's going to set up beautifully for that second chapter, the Northern Lights bomb that Umino used to put down Andrade 2 weeks ago for the title.
Just watch this. It was Pac back-tailing and then straight driven. The guardrail moving. And if you want some impact, watch that spiked Pac right on top of the head with the previous damage on the apron. The Death Rider is hurt. Can he come back?
Return to the ring. It's the bastard Pac, Shota Umino. Sticking close to his challenger. We saw him up.
Jeez.
Just depositing Pac with force. 2.
Oof.
Explosive kick out by Pac.
Lord, buy me dinner first. My God. Look at the eyes of Pac rolling around in his skull like marbles.
You mentioned Shota's experience on the European independent scene. It was in those travels where he developed a friendship with Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and in very, very different times, Walker. And it was that one. Oh, wait a second! Belly to belly overhead throw. Seemed like Umino tried to pull up short at the very last moment, but Pac just too powerful.
Couldn't avoid the throw, avoided some of the impact, but instead it was the left leg of Umino that collided. And instead, look at that, just absolute stopping a mud hole, if they have those in Newcastle, into the chest.
Stomping a mud hole.
They've got more than their fair share, to be honest with you. I've been to Newcastle.
This is far from the first time Shota Umino has had to collide with the Death Riders. Defeating Claudio Castagnoli back to Wrestle Dynasty in the Tokyo Dome last year. And we are introducing the hardware tonight.
Change of complexion here.
Shota has no intention. Feeling the effects of that table, Pac. And wait a second, Shota perhaps. Shota being warned by referee Paul Turner. And Walker, as this is an IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship match, it is a longer count instead of the standard 10 count on the floor on AEW.
Japanese style 20 count inside or outside the ring, rather. That does not make a table shot like this legal whatsoever, and are officially going to allow a little bit of leniency here tonight.
But cross kick, catching Shota flush on the jaw.
There was a shot through a table that ended Shota Umino's New Japan Cup run in March this year. Former New Japan Cup winner Cal Newman on that night. I think that this could very well spell bad intentions for the Roughneck going forward.
Well, watch this.
It's over his shoulder.
Oh, no.
Springboard, swan diving moonsault from the bastard.
Wow.
Makes it look easy. Doesn't even cover it. Absolutely seamless. And the official starts to count again. Up to 3. Pac with 17 seconds to employ some damage. Oh, but instead electing to go inside.
Now Umino, the champion, struggling here as Pac has swung the pendulum of balance in this match into the favor of the challenger.
That calm offense. And move forward undoggedly. Hold on a second. Look at this. Pac.
Champion and challenger alike perilously balanced on the top rope.
And the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Belly to belly. From the top, avalanche style. Now covered, leg hooked, and narrow escape for the champion.
They are not training for bumps and blows like that in the New Japan Dojo, gentlemen. Pac is really unleashing a different level of violence on Shota Umino that he has not faced before here in AEW.
Once Pac had his hands trapped, nowhere else that Umino was going to go but down. And plenty of whiplash as well. Lower back of the champion seemed to be causing him problems from the get-go. Well, Gabe Kidd may have some thanks for that.
It was the vicious blindside attack by Gabe Kidd in Osaka 2 weeks ago that set events into motion leading to this match tonight. And it could be that attack that leads to the coronation of a new IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion.
Let's see what you mean.
Let's see what you made of, Pac saying. Let's see it. Bring it. I want to see the roughneck.
For a long time, certain vocal members of the New Japan roster, Gabe Kidd notably, said that Shota Umino was a poser, that he was only in this position because his father was a referee for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shota Umino is on a mission to prove tonight that he is bound and determined to be a top champion all over the world for as long as he damn well pleases.
Umino with an opportunity to prove that he is his own man.
That's hard, though. That's a difficult thing to do.
Really got caught flush there. About red boots, red lips, and the part of Umino now caught a couple of forearms from the heavily muscled.
Nigel, the most impressive thing about Pac is it's actually very similar to Bandito, that he's able to move with such grace and elegance from the top rope, but then also has the power to create a completely different problem for his challenger, or for his opponent.
We talked about a complete package. I've said it a number of times. Tony Schiavone has called Pac one of the most complete athletes in AEW. Now Umino is going to have to dig deep. He's going to have to step up. He's going to have to earn his spot. When you wear championship gold, the world is coming for you.
Elbows being exchanged. Umino creating some distance, really winding up to lay in his shots. Pac, though, attacking rapidly. Shota.
There's one thing Shota has improved over the course of the last year. It is his stand-up fight game. And you're seeing it on display here, Excalibur.
Elbows now. Shota wrapping the bell. Pac now lured him in.
Misdirected there.
As soon as Umino raised the hands, Pac struck with a... Oh! What about striking?
Oh, wow.
Umino takes the bastard down.
Both champion and challenger have got their kill shots in, and neither has been able to secure victory.
Umino charging in. Pac ready for him. Release German suplex, but Umino rolled away from momentum through. Charges in again. Pac a second time. Umino up to his feet.
And a spirit on display. But spirit can only carry you as far as your body lets you.
Now Pac hoists Shota up and...
Oh, no! Let's take a look at this one more time here.
Damn near killed him.
That's awful.
Oh, hard to watch the champion's body clattering through the table that he set up. Lumbar through the lumbar.
And now Pac on the climb. The bastard to the top, the 450. 1, 2, no! Shota kicks out and the brutalizer in immediately.
Pac not resting on his laurels. A lesser man would have been frustrated, but following forward, and look now.
You can tell just by the body language that the champion is fading. Pac appears to have this well in hand. 2 weeks after the biggest victory of Shota Umino's career, we could be moments away from it all crashing down.
2 weeks after the biggest victory, but 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of a journey, and it cannot end like this.
Shota fading
Shota.
with every passing moment. He tilts. Can he make it to the ropes? Can he find a break? He does, but Pac using every bit of the referee's count to inflict more punishment.
I think the many lengthy battles against Zack Sabre Jr. Umino's had over the last year plus really prepared Umino for a lot of these holds.
This is going to be not good for the champion. All the way up. Oh, but Umino moving.
Pac adjusts his strategy. Rolls through. Shota. Oh! Cracked Pac on the jaw with that one. Oh, the headbutt sends the bastard down. And now Shota waiting for Pac to rise.
Yeah, Shota.
Waiting to let
The strike knee! Strike knee!
2. No! A close call for the challenger.
Umino has fought back.
Nigel, the awesome bomb from Pac. I mean, I've not seen something like that happen in more than a decade
I'm
in pro wrestling.
surprised he was able to continue, let alone coming close to winning the match. But now he pushes forward, looking for the lariat.
Back up. Reverse hook on Rana.
Good night.
Umino!
Compressed. No. Intercepts the kick. Block. Didn't block that one. Pac on the move. Umino pops him up on the move.
From Shota! Clean blocked him!
2. No.
Damn.
What a showing. Shota Umino.
Could be poised. No, instead, the double underhook. The paradigm shift. A callback to Jon Moxley and Umino. Now looking for that second chapter, that northern legs. Boom! He finds it, center of the
That's
ring.
it.
1, 2, 3. If anyone doubts the toughness, the quality of Shota Umino, of the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, show them what this man went through just now. Tell them that he left no doubt that he deserves to be the champion.
The first event for any new champion in the sport of professional wrestling is always the hardest hurdle to climb. Shota Umino has managed to overcome the hurdle of Pac and the Death Riders. You have to know somewhere lurking in the ranks is Game Kid, and Shota Umino is going to have his eye turned in every single direction. Coming up soon.
And I'm not sure the champ realizes it, but Marina Shafir and Jon Moxley have come to ringside, are conferring with Pac after that battle. And with the way that Shota was expelled from the Death Riders.
Obviously, maybe having second out, second decision there. That was a hell of a match.
Wait a second. The mentor, the protege. Their first time meeting in a number of years. One of the all-time legends of New Japan Pro Wrestling, a man who earlier this year wrapped up a Hall of Fame career in the Erie, Tanahashi. Any of the ace of the universe had to be in the building here tonight, gentlemen. He had no idea he would make such a public expression tonight. Hiroshi Tanahashi is live in San Jose. I love it. And whatever John Moxley had in mind for the man he dubbed Shooter, Shota Umino, we will never know as the Death Riders making themselves scarce as the ace takes center stage. I mean, gentlemen, let's not forget Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of the universe, is the man who heavily influences the match cards in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I saw that look Tanahashi just gave the Death Riders. It would not shock me whatsoever to see another global heavyweight title match come the way for that unit. All the way across the pond in NJPW. Moxley and Tanahashi, the two men that were in the main event of the very first Forbidden Door. Now at very different places in their career, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, Walker, to my eyes, a great endorsement of the battle that Shota just went through to defend that title. Shota Umino has always wanted to be the second coming of the ace, but you do not manage to call yourself the ace. You prove yourself to be such. Hiroshi Tanahashi has put a high stamp of approval on the Roughneck tonight, live in San Jose, California. A hard-fought battle for Shota Umino, but a successful battle to retain his IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship tonight in San Jose at Forbidden Door, a night that he will not soon forget. IWGP Global. Up next, a match about pride, a match about respect, but a match filled with hatred and vitriol. It's a match for the AEW Women's World Championship with Starlight Kid challenges Tekla. This match, presented by Dios Azul, Tequila is next.
When I was in Japan, they used to call me the idol killer. Bitches, gone bitches. At some point, I just decided to make Stardom mine. It's pretty good. You know how I know? Because you couldn't get in a ring with me.
come of this match, not just as far as the AEW Women's World Championship is concerned, but it's also for the Toxic Spider Tekla. But Starlight Kid, she grew up in a home that was passionate about professional wrestling. She developed an early fascination with lucha libre culture, as you can see by the not only the Tiger Mask inspired mask, but also the Jushin Thunder Liger overmask that she wore on her way out. She is somebody that at 24 years of age has more than 10 years of in-ring experience. Somebody that has grown up in the stardom system of professional wrestling and considers it to not only be her home, but all those athletes, her family.
And her opponent, from Vienna, Austria, she is the AEW Women's World Tony, in a very short amount of time. Well, actually, hold on 1 second. Before we get to Tony, let's go to our colleague Renee Paquette for a sideline update.
Standing at just 4'11" and 5'1", these two women packed one hell of a punch. Starlight Kid, the standout from Charlotte, who holds 2 victories over her champion, is looking to end a woman who embodies such a hateful spirit. Meanwhile, Tekla has vowed to destroy it all. And sit back, relax, and watch it all burn.
Team President Taro Okada, no relation to the Rainmaker Okada, not impressed with Tekla. But Tony, in her AEW tenure, Tekla has established herself as one of the most volatile, violent women that has ever competed inside an AEW ring.
Well, you get what you see with Tekla. There's no doubt about it. She is, I think she's an angry young lady. And she has, and Walker, it's great to be working with you. It seems to me that she, being Tekla, has turned her attention more to Okada and the Stardom promotion than she has the athletes.
You can certainly say that, and it's a pleasure to be here, Tony, with you, because President Taro Okada, truth be told, has certainly been on the wrong side of Tekla after Okada fired Tekla in April 2025 for disobeying orders, multiple attacks on Stardom staff, and even attacks on the president himself.
Come on, fellas, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okada is petrified of the AEW Women's Champion.
And fans, we're excited to partner with Dios Azul Tequila and here at AEW's Forbidden Door, crafted with premium blue agave and delivering a smooth, refined finish. Dios Azul is the perfect way to elevate your AEW experience for guests 21 and over. Now, trip attempted by the Toxic Spider Tekla. Hammer throw reverse to Starlight Kid, very fleet-footed. And then we see an early look at the speed that sends the champion to the outside. Tekla, she began competing in Japan in 2018. At the beginning of 2022, she would join Stardom as a full-time roster member. But during her time in Japan, Tekla would spend time training in various Japanese dojos, and she felt that she received much harsher treatment, Walker, than her Japanese contemporaries. She felt she was almost singled out.
I mean, a lot of people can feel that way as a foreigner, as an international star over in Japan. But I mean, for Tekla, it runs a little bit deeper because Tekla's not running around just in sparkles and wants to do the cutesy idol thing. That is the sort of culture that Tekla has long sought to destroy in the Joshi women's wrestling scene. And Tekla is certainly doing a number on Starlight Kid with that in mind.
Well, Tekla did a great job of, after that drop kick by Starlight Kid, to go to the floor to rethink things and try to slow her down.
Tekla, we're going to attack the mask of Starlight Kid. We saw what problems that created for Bandito, Nigel.
There's John Moxley. Very smart decision for Moxley. But right now, Tekla has just fired up the dynamic Starlight Kid, who has said that she will try to get some revenge. Ooh! And the black sheep the Stardom promotion.
Oh, Starlight reverses it. And remember, in their two head-to-head meetings, Starlight Kid was able to defeat Tekla in both of those battles. That's a major reason why she stepped up to defend the honor of Stardom, the promotion that she considers her home, the only place in professional wrestling that she's ever known.
And because of the 2-0, you can see that she seemingly is fighting for the promotion. The revenge you guys talked about is a revenge for Okada, I would think, as much as anything else.
Starlight Kid certainly wants to represent Stardom as the only Stardom contracted woman to hold AEW gold. She has to be able to prove her ability to do so tonight against an old rival.
Tekla bouncing the ropes. Starlight Kid sends the toxic spider parading to the floor.
I'm surprised that Tekla did that. Almost invited Starlight Kid in. Starlight took advantage of it.
Hit on the move, and grabs the Kid to go, but instead Tekla shoots up the leg.
Starlight Kid is a dazzle and amaze type of wrestler. Loves to take to the skies. Tekla well aware of that fact. He's going to try and keep Starlight Kid as grounded as possible throughout this one.
Very awkward landing for the Stardom competitor. The left ankle perhaps rolling. Very awkward landing indeed. And wait a second.
Yeah, you're right.
Toxic spider. Watch this.
By the mask, dragging Stardom, rolling her just to the right of the Spanish announce desk.
Slid on her knees to Starlight Kid that time. And then hit the barricade.
Tekla is a woman who embodies violence, and you're going to see that as long as this one remains on the outside.
That's a good call. She certainly does embody violence.
Certainly nothing itsy-bitsy about her.
And Tekla continuing to tear at the mask of Starlight Kid. And speaking to Starlight Kid, albeit through El Desperado as my translator, she did say that she respects and is inspired by Tekla's success.
Oh, look at this. Oh, look where the champion exactly. Right in front of Okada.
Inspired by Tekla's success here in AEW, especially when it comes to fighting against larger opponents. As there we see Tekla now turning her attention to the man that she attacked. She physically attacked Taro Okada on multiple occasions. One of which,
this is getting uncomfortable here.
I'm really surprised, and I guess it's a show.
Wait a second. It's the brakes on Tekla. Ooh, an open-handed shot. Toxic Spider seems more stunned than anything.
I'm surprised Okada wanted to sit in the front row for this. I guess he thought for sure there would be some confrontation, which there was.
Surprised he wanted to be in the building. Or the state, for that matter.
We did see one athlete from Stardom already pick up a victory tonight when Micah earned her spot. Wait a second, cover made. 1, 2. Kid able to kick out Micah, defeating Sky Blue to earn her spot in this final, the fifth match coming up this Wednesday to determine the next TBS champion. But Walker Okada, Taro Okada, is a man that is very proud of not just the in-ring product of Stardom, but it's what these athletes do outside of the ring, how they represent this company all over the world.
I mean, what it is for community and culture. I mean, that's what professional wrestling is bound by in the year of 2026. And Starlight Kid really wanting to represent on a global stage for Okada, for the World Wonder Ring. But Tekla's going to make it very difficult here, Excalibur.
Starlight showing her agility, but Tekla very much prepared for that. Tekla earned a reputation as an idol killer while she was competing in Stardom. And Starlight Kid, wait a second, cover again here. 1, 2. As you mentioned, Walker very much embraces that idol culture, the showmanship, so to speak, that goes beyond just competing inside the ring.
You know, talking a little bit more about Tekla, I mean, when she was full-time athlete in Stardom, Tekla had a lot of promise, a lot of potential. That's what everyone said about her. But she has absolutely flourished over here in the West under AEW's banner. But that doesn't mean the Stardom faithful have exactly taken too kind to her.
Yeah, she has flourished. One would say she's dominated the women's division.
I would say she's achieved her potential.
She certainly has, and out to prove it. She's a woman she's never been able to defeat in her career tonight, but Starlight Kid, dynamic moves like that allow her to change the complexion of a match in a blink of an eye.
And they call her the Sky Tiger for a reason. Starlight Kid, you got to keep your eye on her every single moment of this one.
As indicated by her mask, we alluded to it earlier. Tremendously inspired by the legendary Tiger Mask, an athlete that... Oh, wait a second, that moonsault. 1, 2...
Nice standing moonsault from the Starlight Kid, who has known that. Tiger fake kick and also top rope Spanish fly if she can execute.
Now maybe thinking stretch muffler, numero dos perhaps? No. Wow, no. Going after the knee of the Toxic Spider.
What a great inventive move that was. One that I don't think we see if at all here in AEW.
And now Starlight attacking the knee.
Excalibur, you were talking about that numero dos inspiration. Her mentor in El Desperado, you mentioned earlier on, utilizes that numero dos stretch muffler as a wrestler in New Japan. Starlight Kid has adopted that, had a lot of championship success in Stardom with it.
You see Tekla trying to adjust the knee pad, but
Yeah,
now
just like
he's
that.
looking for it. Is Tekla, or excuse me, is Starlight Kid Tekla trying to escape? She knows what danger that move presents, and wow. As Starlight was trying to pull back the arm of Tekla, Tekla goes for the mask, goes for the eyes of the challenger.
Desperation move, but it got the job done. Now Tekla needs to get out of the ring and just try to get away here for a second if she can.
A little bit of respite. The Spider waits in her lair.
The boot into the jaw now. Tekla, wrenching back on the head and neck of Starlight Kid.
Tekla basically lured Starlight Kid into the ropes that time. Great job by the champ. Great job.
Now, we mentioned Starlight's respect for Tekla, and especially how she competes against larger opponents. That's thanks in large part to Tekla's hypermobility. But it seems like Starlight may be a step and a half quicker than the champion.
Oh, potentially. Proving your point. And it was Tekla who let you go to the top rope for some offense and instead had to play defense. Right now, another big risk.
Sky Tiger making the climb to the ropes with Tekla, ready for it.
What?
And answer with the right hand.
That time it was the champion who was faster to the draw. Oh, watch out.
Tekla likes this spider suplex.
Yeah,
Fittingly so.
It looked like she was going for a superplex up on top, but, well, maybe she still is here.
There we go.
There's the spider suplex.
From her web. Something wicked this way comes, but it's her opponent.
Resilience of Starlight Kid on display. The challenger climbing the ropes, landing a drop kick into the spine. The champion Tekla trying to pull herself back up to the apron. And now Starlight, she could be thinking Tiger suplex on the apron. Very dangerous position to execute that move. Tekla, no intention of finding out what Starlight had in store.
Tekla is such a great striker. We saw that right there. Stunned.
Out of nowhere from Starlight Kid.
Tekla was looking for a textbook spear, a move that she's used to beat a lot of opponents, but Starlight Kid has the experience from facing her before. Oh boy, watch this.
Now Starlight.
No way, no way.
Dangerous.
Black Tiger's divine punishment from Starlight Kid on Tekla.
Damn.
And on the apron, no less, the champion in serious trouble here.
Saw Rick Knox check on the champion to see if she was okay. Apparently so, but not that okay after this.
Plus, you can see, once she knew she was being driven to the apron, the champion tried to tuck her chin and protect her neck as much as possible. There's only so much you can do.
And that divine punishment walker, another nod to the history of Tiger Masters. Battles with longtime rival Black Tiger. But right now, the legs are crossed. The fisherman suplex, 1, 2.
Oh, whoa. Oh. Barely got out of it.
She saw how Tekla, after she kicked out Tony, she felt the whiplash perhaps on the neck.
Sure did. That's a great call. And it looks like Starlight's going to go up top.
President Okada said Starlight Kid is going to illuminate San Jose. Watch this.
Oh, press Tekla.
Yes.
Barely out of harm's way. Now up to her feet, the Toxic Spider, the spear.
Boy, she gets so much force out of that spear. So much speed for the corner.
Tekla's not done yet. Looking for the stop.
Oh, jam that right knee, though, gentlemen.
Starlight kick to the lower back. Once again, whiplashing the neck, Nigel.
Not good for the champion, certainly, but the challenger very slow to follow up. Just watch this. You talked about the impact, the spear driving into the midsection. It's somehow the challenger able to turn things back around to drive the wind out of the lungs of the champion. This one, the decision hangs in the balance.
Tekla, Starlight Kid, head-to-head, center of the ring. Starlight, in a moment of candor, Tekla, I asked her about her experience with Starlight Kid. She said for an athlete of her size, Starlight hits harder than she has any right to. And for Tekla to give up that type of information, this match had to be weighing on her heavily.
Sometimes it's not the size, it's knowing how to hit. Knowing how to get your body into it. Well, the crowd seems kind of divided here. Look at the smile on Tekla's face. Boy, she is, to say the least, an odd person. Look at this.
Now, Tekla takes great pride in destroying the idol culture over in Japan, and Starlight Kid, a real high icon in that regard.
Tekla, she felt as if she was almost punished in Japan for not embracing that idol culture, that Starlight Kid received preferential treatment and only served to deepen the resentment that Tekla felt while competing over there. But Starlight, she's proving her quality right before our eyes, Nigel.
But right now, all the eyes may be rolling around in her head. This match, the direction has gone back and forth so many occasions.
Wild swing by Tekla, connected, as did that boot. And now,
and again.
Damn.
Tekla making the climb. Starlight trying to clear the cobwebs, so to speak, as the toxic spider diving cross body. Leg hook, cover made. Starlight able to kick out.
And Tekla is really testing the resilience of Starlight Kid right here. Everything that Tekla is throwing at Starlight's been able to survive it, but for how much longer can the kid manage to do so?
He's taking a lot of punishment, Walker.
That is scary.
And that's what she wants it to be.
And that is typically the prelude to a spear. That Tekla, drop kick targeting the knee. The knee that Tekla jammed earlier. Now the numero dos, perhaps. Yes. Can she complete it?
Oh, really? Twisting, tying, contorting the champion
like a torture rack.
A stretch muffler with the arm captured. Numero dos, and now a giant swing for good measure. Starlight Kid pulling out all the stops.
This is amazing.
It's an incredible result from the Sky Tiger tonight. She's got to do a little bit more than this if she wants to win the AEW Women's World Title.
As Tekla struggling, trying to make it over to the ropes to force the break, but now Starlight captures the head of Tekla.
This is a unique variation on this hold. You don't see it too often out of Starlight Kid, but it works every single night out.
Oh, the final leg, preventing the rope.
Tekla finally gets to the bottom rope to force the break.
I didn't know he was here.
In that hold was able
I'm just
to
waiting for it to be
to
over.
keep the match going.
But Tony, were it 10 seconds longer, I'm not sure Tekla could have survived.
I agree with that. I really do. She's holding on to her right knee right now, and back of the knee.
I don't know if you watch wrestling,
Starlight.
but I watch it
Divine punishment once
sometimes.
again. Finds it, plants Tekla, center of the ring. 1, 2, no!
We nearly saw history made here tonight with that one.
Tekla still alive. It's not about the size of the fight.
Come on,
In
end
the
it.
spider. Or perhaps it is either way now.
Pin her.
Starlight Kid.
Pin her.
Tried this earlier.
Press. 1, 2. Again, Tekla.
Damn.
Barely survives.
Of all of her title defenses, I don't ever remember Tekla being beaten around like this.
Well, Tony, I mean, it just speaks to how personal it is between these two athletes.
This is great. This is a tremendous women's title match. As good as
It's a tremendous title match.
Yeah, you're right.
Somehow back to her feet.
Starlight searching for that Tiger suplex. No, Tekla escapes. Behind the O'Connor roll by Tekla. The bridge is back to... And
And it's closer than close there.
From this angle, we couldn't see how close the mat and the hand were, but it was darn close.
Oh, is Tekla coming back in that moonsault absolutely crushed the Spider.
Oh, okay.
Starlight on the move after... Oh, nice bridge back by the Toxic Spider. And a nicer spear. Tekla now covering.
Kick out.
Leg hook. 2, 3.
Ooh.
Not just a last second escape, a last millisecond
Yeah, I'm watching
escape by Starlight Kid.
pay-per-view.
Tekla cannot believe it. Look at this. I don't think we've ever seen her
I
like
might
this.
start streaming
May simply be a state of
pay-per-views.
execution.
And now electing not to cover, instead
In the
screaming
match.
in the face of her challenger.
Now pointed right to President Okada as well.
Jesus.
A second stomp. Tekla covers.
It's done.
Oh, yeah. She won. Damn.
Very obvious disappointment on the face of Stardom President Carl Okada. He was hoping that Tekla...
Desolation on the face of the President Okada. This is the monster that you have created.
Well, let me say this, gentlemen. All of us really have been looking forward to seeing Starlight Kid's debut here in AEW for years. And ladies and gentlemen, this was well worth the wait. Starlight Kid, I think we'd all agree, is incredible. Amazing title for tonight. Can't wait to see her wrestle again.
Wait a second, Tony. The Sky Blue, Julia Hart. Yeah, the other 2 points on the Triangle of Madness. Now, wait a second. Tekla, we don't need to. You can give it a pair.
Oh, God.
Her scissors there.
Oh, no.
By the Triangle.
Who the hell is
And
that?
Tekla, she looked right at Taro Okada. And Tekla, you got cut away, take off her mask.
Oh, she cut the mask off.
Knocks there with a towel.
Damn.
What is this, her trophy?
Who the hell is that?
Oh, for God's sakes.
The disrespect of Tekla. Not just towards the athletes of Stardom, but Stardom as a whole continues.
She's not done.
I think, you know, we've apologized to Stardom before, and I think they're due another apology.
More than that, Tony. I don't know what we can say at this point. Yes, the Tekla are exclusively her own.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to accept that apology. Speaking on behalf, that is downright deplorable.
Once again, I cannot wait to see Starlight Kid wrestle again. She is phenomenal. What a match.
Well, somebody's going to check in on President Taro Okada, but congratulations go out. And still, your AEW Women's World Champion, Tekla. What a night of action we've had here tonight, gentlemen. This has been incredible.
It has
I like
been a deplorable
lighting
match
on
by
this.
this young lady
That's cool.
right here. Absolutely deplorable.
The Toxic Spider makes the 7th defense of her AEW Women's World Championship. The reign of the Toxic Spider continues. From the AEW Women's World Championship and the AEW Men's Tag Team Championship. The Rated R Superstar Adam Copeland, Christian Cage hope to fend off the challenge of the Dogs, Clark Connor and David Finlay next.
Cage and Cole.
For the benefit of those with flash photography, the Dogs present a new 5-second pose. We call this one your next AEW Tag Team Champion.
We understand you trying to make your names on our backs. You're us from 30 years ago. What you don't understand
You know what? I'm
is that we are your learning
put a poll.
like the Dogs anymore.
Chat.
Never did.
Getting GTA this year? What the hell?
What the Dogs have been up to. They have been running roughshod all over AEW. In fact, their opponents tonight, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, suffered a very similar fate, taking the fight to the Dogs, but then the Dogs got their fights in.
David Finlay, Clark Connors, you may be looking at your next world tag team champs. They are that talented, but they are absolutely crazy. And you know I'm the lover of dogs, Michael. They give dogs a bad name.
Still,
The species.
their opponents might want to put them down.
Yeah, I'll probably get it, but I'm not getting it right now. I'll probably get the Ultimate Edition. Because you gotta remember, this game is probably gonna be out for a long time. And by a long time, I mean, like, for the next few consoles, generations. It's going to be out by the time PlayStation 6 comes out, PlayStation 7 and 8, if there even is a 7 and 8.
With a 2-on-1 advantage, they're also not attacking Copeland before his tag team partner gets out here. song to sing along to. Listen to this.
Flexing that left hand, he's still wearing the brace around that left forearm, a parting gift from FTR in their battle with Cope and Cage. And something we've seen Finley and Connor look to exploit here in their pursuit of the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
And they obviously will tonight. That would be the smart thing to do. Guys, it's something just seems very comforting to see Cope and Cage not only together again, but as champions again.
They're certainly true veterans, highly respected, highly capable, prove they can still compete with the very best in the world. Taking the titles from FTR. A huge portion of that, of course, becoming decisive Christian Cage.
Tony, you talked about how it looks right, seeing the titles in the hands of Copeland and Cage, and these two men, great champions, great tag team champions throughout their careers. Adam Copeland, he was speaking to CBS Sports. He said, we've been through so many matches together, but this is a different version of Cope and Cage. Finley and Connors may think they know, no pun intended, actually a little intended, they think they may know the champions, but they don't know this version of Cope and Cage.
Yeah, I think especially Christian Cage, much different than a Christian Cage, say, 10, 15 years ago, I would think.
Well, I mean, you think 10 years ago, both Cope and Cage thought their careers were going to be over, that they would never get to wrestle again, and they feel like they've been given a gift, a second act, which does not occur often, Walker, and something that they feel like David Finley and Clark Connors are trying to take away from them.
You know, it's Galvin, what feels very new and fresh to me is this idea of Clark Connors and David Finley teaming alongside one another. Because I've followed the careers of these two men for so long across their New Japan Pro Wrestling tenures up till earlier this year, and they were in opposite divisions, junior heavyweight and heavyweight. They were on the same side of the same unit in Bullet Club, but never exactly competing in tag action like this, so I'm very excited to see this challenge.
A little one-upsmanship right there, the veteran experience. Christian Cage just ducking under the shot from Clark Connors. And I think that's really got to be the story of this match. Can Cope and Cage use their experience advantage against the youth and the vigor of the Dogs? We heard Adam Copeland say that he and Cage both smelt like piss and vinegar and were going to beat their opponents like dogs.
I believe they were full of piss.
What's up with his
That
hands?
makes much more sense.
His pants is hella tight.
The roll up. He nearly sealed it for the champions, but Clark Connors able to escape. Clark Connors, no short of the confidence, but the same can be said for this man, the leader of the Dogs, David Finley, a man who has pro wrestling running through his veins, a man that has essentially become estranged from his father, Walker, the great Fit Finley, because he claims that Fit Finley never won a world championship in his career and therefore was a disappointment to his son.
We are talking about the same man in David Finley when he reigned as global heavyweight champion, said that title meant more to him than his newly born son. I mean, David Finley has no interest in talking about blood relation, familial ties. It's all about the championship gold, and tonight it's the AEW World Tag Titles.
Finley called his father, Fit Finley, just a couple of weeks ago on Collision, a bag of bones. Listen, Fit Finley and I knew him very well. One of the toughest men I've ever been around.
Oh, nice counter there by Adam Copeland, rated R superstar, dropping into his side headlock. Finley, though, a handful of hair as Copeland tightens his grip.
Another example of the veteran experience of one-upmanship. Every time the Dogs think they've got an advantage, the champions
Oh, wait a second.
take it back. Oh, wait a second.
You know what's amazing to me is that as David Finley's in the ring, Clark Connors is on the outside. He's not even up on the apron of the ring.
Yeah, Tony, I want to mention that Clark Connors, he came very near our announce desk, and Walker, you seemed to be to tense up right there.
Well, I have a lot of experience with these men putting their hands where they don't belong in the English broadcast in New Japan, so.
Saw David Finley trying to drop into a side headlock of his own, but Adam Copeland stepped too quick. Now the drop toe hold. Copeland controlling the arm of Finley and over to the corner to make the tag to the other half, the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Nice teamwork by Copeland Cage. Connors in, greeted by a
Well, between the uprights, how many points to get for that?
How about that little picturesque moment?
Christian Cage, the man who led the patriarchy, like Troy Aikman led the Dallas Cowboys. He's done for turtlenecks what Dr. Dre did for headphones, what Chaz did for the colour orange, or knee replacements for that matter.
Tell you what, Christian Cage as vicious as anyone in AEW.
It's time to get another tattoo.
David Finley just struggling to get his wind back, but finding himself stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Wants to shake hands.
Heard the footsteps. Clark Connors charging in. Oh! Overcommitted through the ropes. Hits the ring post and may have re-injured that forearm on the way down.
Yeah, that left wrist right there, gentlemen. And Clark Connors is smelling blood in the water now.
Yeah, Walker, you're right. He did land on the wrist, and that was...
Nigel, a hairline fracture is a difficult thing to recover from quickly, let alone if you're competing at the pace which Copeland Cage are.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know sort of the ego necessarily of Christian Cage, but how tough this man is, how many years he's competed through injuries, how many injuries people told him he would never recover from. There's a cover.
Connors, move, leg hook, Christian able to kick out. Excuse me, that's Finley on the cover.
We've talked about how ruthless,
Yeah,
dangerous a man he is. I mean, if for no other reason, the sheer number of other people's mothers that he's banged.
What is that number, Nigel?
You'd have to ask him. Privy to that information.
That has nothing.
Finley wrenching the arm back, the stomp on the elbow. Great way to tear up just about every ligament and muscle in that arm.
One thing that's proven certain so far, gentlemen, is that Copeland and Cage are not going to be able to game plan for this match like they're preparing to face David Finley's father. I mean, David, rather, a very different athlete to his father. And looking to call himself AEW World Tag Champion by the end of the night.
So the chop across the windpipe of Christian Cage. That might have come straight out of the playbook and fit Finley. Whether David would like to admit it or not.
Yeah, I think so. David was Finn was more of an upright, just pound and ground type wrestler. Get you in the corner, get you down.
And look at his targeting. The left forearm. Wow. You understand why David Finley might have an axe to grind when it came to Christian Cage after what he said he did to Finley's mother. Given who Finley's mother is married to, that shows just how daring Christian Cage is. Good Lord.
Yeah, I agree with that. Look at this, man. You just got to wonder, and I've said this so many times, Christian Cage is so determined, so tough, but there's just so much a man can take from something like this. And he knew they would work on it.
Yeah, I mean, Clark Connors had a great technique on that wrist. Training of the New Japan LA dojo is Connors. Is really looking to try and put all of that to work tonight.
The Dogs have sapped the energy away from one half of the tag team champions. This methodical, vicious dissection of Christian Cage.
Clark seemingly dancing to the corner.
Nice back body drop.
But
Cage trying to make the crawl.
Finley landed between Christian Cage and his partner.
That was a great interception right there from David Finley, who again puts the pressure on that left forearm of Cage.
Yeah, Adam Copeland starting to show signs of frustration. All he can do is watch his partner get eaten alive.
And Nigel, for as wild as the dogs are, you can't say they came into this battle unprepared.
No, 100%. They've watched tapes. They've got the advantage now, and they are pushing that advantage. Cage is going to have to dig really, really deep here. As much as I've admired this man, he does seem to have lost a little something since aligning himself with Adam Copeland. I used to say he had the poise of a Charles de Gaulle.
Wait a minute, what is... He's gonna... Come on! And the referee's back is turned. Did not see any of it. It's...
Clark Connors. That spent match stick into the face of Tony Schiavone here like that.
And Clark Connors has long said, smoke him if you got him. And right now, Connors and Finlay are looking to smoke out Cope and Cage tonight.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Look at that Father of the Year.
Yeah, seemingly lighting a fire in the belly of Christian Cage as he's battled his way out of the corner now.
He was going to set him on fire.
Adam Copeland, the tag to make him the legal man.
He's a great veteran. He's made this crawl before. It's nothing new.
I'm exhausted.
Move by Clark Connors.
Walker, you mentioned that.
I still might hop online
Finlay and Clark Connors did not
play
see a
some
lot of
Call
tag
of
team
Duty.
action together. However, they did spend a lot of time traveling. I mean, those are hours-long bus rides that you have to talk, to get to know one another, to develop chemistry, and we're seeing that chemistry.
What's this?
Oh, no.
Oh, forget about chemistry. Nothing but biology there.
This is going to end it. This is going to completely end it.
Christian Cage pinned underneath the steel ring steps with Clark Connors.
They're done.
Copeland sends Connors spilling to the floor into the announce desk, and now Copeland extricates his partner from underneath the steps, and is moving with speed, moving with purpose. He wants the tag.
Cope saved his partner and saved the match. Now he needs to get in here. Oh, great job, David Finlay.
Fingertips away. Nothing but air and hope between Cage and Copeland.
To the eyes. Comes to the eyes, and in comes the Radar Superstar.
Adam Copeland is a man unleashed here tonight against these dogs.
Copeland sends Finlay for a ride. Changes his focus to Clark Connors' high boot.
Don't turn your back.
Finlay was looking for a haymaker, but instead finds the wrong end of an impaler. 2.
Hooking both legs, really deep folding press there from the champion Copeland. An ill-tempered and capricious man, hell-bent on revenge and retaining the world titles.
And I think he's going to be a man fighting by himself. I'm not so sure that Cage can help him out anymore. He looked down towards him right there.
I think Copeland looking for the spear, looking to end this as quickly as possible, but Finlay left over, and the dogs attack.
See on the right of your screen that Cage just got to his feet. And he drops down to one knee again. Once again, Cope is all alone.
Cope is all alone. He's surrounded on two sides. Finlay, Connors.
Second time in counting. Nobody's safe here at ringside.
We never are. And David Finlay's not safe either.
Cope the splash across the back of Finlay. Christian goes over, and Connors.
That's a great assist from Clark Connors there. Always knows where he needs to be for his partner in Finlay.
That's a great call, Walker. You are right. Clark Connors a very, very intelligent wrestler.
How many matches is it?
Copeland pursuing Connors on the floor. Oh, the chop block and the spear combo. 1, 2, no!
Great determination by Cope. Great determination to get out of that.
These two young men really looking to make a name for themselves and claim the title. Dogs by name, dogs by nature.
Midsection on one side, back of the knee on the other, that high-low.
Now looking for full clip. Their tag team finishing maneuver. Finley attempting to invert. Oh!
That is a horse landing to the outside for Court Connors there.
Great awareness from Adam Copeland. Hate to say it. He knew where the other opponent was and suplexed Finley into Connors. But wait a second. The move that Christian Cage made famous.
Goes no. Finley brings him with a knee, but instead.
I told you.
Copeland covers. 2. No.
Christian Cage attacked the referee.
But Connors shoved Christian Cage into Stephon Smith. And Connors, rather than breaking up the pinning predicament, he knew exactly what he was doing. He shoved Christian Cage into the official.
And obviously, Stephon Smith averting that shoulder.
Well, what happens now?
And Connors looking like the cat that caught the canary.
There's 3 matches
You
now.
see with Colt from one side to the other. Look at the draw set by Colt.
2 men.
Oh, this is great.
Connors wanted to test himself, but found it. Oh, wait a second. Finley with the shillelagh in his hand, of course.
All those family ties we were talking about earlier, they all come back to that shillelagh in the head.
Oh, watch out.
Right across the skull.
And referee Stephon Smith still down. Has no idea what just occurred to Christian Cage, and now what is about to occur to Adam Copeland?
It is a kiss of death from that shillelagh.
Holy smokes, what in the hell is going on?
The lights are out here.
The lights went
Apologize for
out.
the darkness.
What the hell?
Copeland off the gun. Juice Robinson ace off to the bang, bang, bang.
What are they doing here?
Well, they've had their share of battles with the dogs.
Jay.
More than a year away from the ring. Switchblade Jay White returns.
Spear. 1, 2, 3.
Walker poses the dogs in the back again. He traced their roots back to Bullet Club. And it was when David Finley took control of Bullet Club. It was at the expense of Switchblade Jay White, a fact that he seemingly has not forgotten. Cash Jay White out of the Bullet Club. Cash Jay White out of New Japan Pro Wrestling entirely. Jay White is back with a vengeance here tonight. And a hell of an assist for Copen Cage.
Look at that. That's not so sure, but the leader of a Bang Bang Gang has returned dramatically.
But Nigel, was it out of respect for Christian Cage and Adam Copeland? Or was it due to animosity towards the dog? We may never know.
One thing we do know, that the veteran team of World Tag Team Champions. The Bang Bang Gang, there are more questions than answers.
Tony, without the leadership of Switchblade, Jay White, the Bang Bang Gang, they seem to be a bit wayward. Now, do you think his presence will help right the ship for the boys?
I don't think there's any question. You can see it. There's almost a celebration going on and still going on at the top of the ring. Really giving this group a lot of momentum. As you can see, all these men are really top-notch athletes.
Finley Connors to 5 here by the surprise return of Switchblade Jay White, but they hung with the champions until the bitter end. They were seemingly on the precipice of claiming the titles. And that day may yet come, but it will not be today.
The coat and cage, the dream continues. If you want to talk about dreams, you've got to talk about my world.
And we're on the precipice of our triple main events here tonight at Forbidden Door. But fans, you can download the official theme song at AEW's Forbidden Door, Who's Having Fun by Drain, available now on Spotify and Apple Music. And as you mentioned, Nigel, earlier today, both Mercedes Moné and Maya World arriving to the SAP Center here in San Jose. Maya World's Cinderella story looks to continue here tonight for Mercedes Moné. Looks to become the first ever two-time Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament champion. That match takes place next in San Jose.
This was a shocking and heartbreaking week for Maya World. Tragically, unexpectedly lost her younger brother, Jituan. It was because of her brother that she fell in love with professional wrestling, wanted to be a wrestler, and tonight she gets to live out her dream.
People expect other people to win, but expectations don't win matches. I did.
Congratulations on making it to the Owen Cup Finals. I have carried this entire industry on my back.
Mercedes used to have all these belts.
My biggest fan had to take what's mine. She's someone who I've studied. I've probably watched every match of hers ever. I want to be successful. I don't need to follow that blueprint exactly, but I know that it's a start.
6 belts or something.
You have to make your whole life trying to make it here. Well, I took mine, making history, and becoming a global icon.
Every win, every moment I've had so far just goes to show that my time is now. I am the it girl, and this is it.
Maya there with the support from longtime friend High-End, but right now, up at the ringside of Renee Paquette for this update.
Maya World continues to find her new normal ever since the tragic loss of her brother just a few weeks ago. It was in that loss that she's continued to fight for her destiny. She told me that Mercedes Moné was my idol, but it is my time now. Nobody expected me to be here, but expectations don't win matches. I do.
Maya World was not even supposed to be in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, yet she now finds herself making her way to the finals and one step away from Wembley Stadium. second consecutive year. Last year in the Owen finals, Mercedes defeated Jamie Hayter to win her first Owen and would go on to unsuccessfully challenge the then AEW Women's World Champion title Tony Storm all in Texas. Her first loss inside an AEW ring. Since then, only Chris Statlander, Alex Windsor, and Will Nightingale have defeated Mercedes in head-to-head competition. Can we add Maya World's name to that list?
Great question. Maya World told TV Insider, I don't think it's settled in that I'm facing Mercedes. It probably won't until after the bell rings at Forbidden Door, which it's about to. You've got to realize that Mercedes Moné is, in my mind, one of the great women wrestlers of all time.
The great wrestlers of all time. And fans, to learn more about the mission and the message of the Owen Hart Foundation, you can visit owenhartfoundation.org. Nigel, we saw the first in-ring experience of Maya World and Mercedes Moné last night on Collision. Mercedes and Athena got the better of Maya and Hyde. Oh, wait a second. The roll-up to quick cover. Maya looking for a shock victory here again. The roll-up and Mercedes getting caught, and Maya a third time, but Mercedes bails out.
That third pinfall attempt was the one that she used to defeat her mentor, Athena, in the semi-final. So trying to go to the same book of tricks. We need something different if she's going to advance to Wembley Stadium. But first, can you just imagine what it must be like for Maya World, the butterflies, the journey that she has been on over the last month?
I mean, guys, I've been able to be a part of that journey firsthand. I called the first couple of matches of Maya World's career on the independent wrestling scene. World has always wanted to step into the ring with Mercedes Moné, and it could not come with more pressure tonight in San Jose.
Remember, all of this has occurred in the shadow of the tragic passing of Maya's brother earlier this month. But she found solace in being around her friends, her colleagues, and has said that everything she does in her career from here on out will be in his memory. And she is giving it straight to the CEO.
Yeah, mocking Mercedes, the way Mercedes presents herself in the ring, trying to get under Mercedes' skin. How about that?
Truthfully, gentlemen, there's a lot of Mercedes Moné-ism inside of Maya World. You can see it in her arsenal, the way she presents herself. Maya World is far from a carbon copy of Mercedes Moné. This is the next level.
And Maya on the move through the ropes, catch on Mercedes, 2 overeater, and goes to the floor.
I think when you say Maya's just been one step ahead here in the early going.
Beautiful senton. And Nigel, having called as many Mercedes matches as we have, we know that she does not deal well with being shown up. And right now, the young Maya World is showing up the CEO.
Well, I think even by her own admission, Mercedes Moné would say she has a large ego. She is a formidable and resplendent professional wrestler now. Finally getting a little bit of respite after it hasn't been the opening to the former TBS champion.
I think a large ego is correct, Nigel, and also I think use the word fragile as well.
Maya drops back now off the middle rope. Taking a page out of the CEO's playbook right there is Maya World. You alluded to it, Walker, and now looking for the statement maker, but Mercedes, great submission defense.
Maya has great technique taught out at the DFW All-Pro Wrestling School down in Dallas, Texas. Maya World is an incredible athlete in her own right. But this is easily, bar none, the most high-pressure situation of young Maya World's career. I mean, Nigel, as an in-ring competitor yourself, can you talk to us a little bit about what that might feel like for World?
Yeah, you get a feeling in your stomach. I'm sure everybody has experienced the nerves when you realize you're on a big stage and the world is watching, or at least anybody that you care about. But you've got to put it to one side. You've got to understand these opportunities, they're not going to come again. You've done the work. You've got to let it go. Let the chips fall where they may.
Mercedes, you just feel the confidence radiating off of her. Turning the tables on Maya World in a very quick moment, and now returning Maya to the ring. Mercedes looking for a cover. Lateral press. Maya able to bridge out of it, but Mercedes drags Maya right down.
I'm interested to know what Aubrey Edwards was saying to Maya in the corner there that gave a break, and then things turned around for Mercedes. It was interesting. It kind of slowed down Maya.
Whatever it was, Mercedes Moné took the advantage and has moved forward and showing you why she really is a world-class champion athlete. 2025 was almost her year. She had more gold than the Incas before a couple of turns of fate took a lot of the gold from her. Cover.
Maya looking for the cradle. No, instead rolls through. Vertical suplex. Mercedes may have been expecting. Wait, now Maya the cover. Mercedes may have been expecting the roll up, but Maya zagging where Mercedes thought that she was going to zig.
I've often wondered with those 13 titles Mercedes held, if that was good or bad for her in the long run. I mean, I know it's a great talking point, it's a bragging point. 13 became her unlucky number, but it seems like she lost them as quickly as she won.
The higher your rise, the deeper your fall, Tony. I think you make a great point on that one.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of falling.
Speaking of making a point, right there, Mercedes Moné. Oh, no.
Mercedes.
My world.
Oh, Meteor crushing Maya against the ring apron.
Well, you can see Maya looked up just about the time the knees came crashing. She saw it coming. She couldn't move.
Oh, not done yet. A second Meteora.
Oh, my.
Gentlemen, for as much as Maya World has looked up to, has been inspired by Mercedes Moné, you have to imagine that she studied a lot of her arsenal, a lot of her game plan. You have to wonder where we're going to see that come into effect tonight.
Yeah, but thus far, we've seen Maya World try to mimic the former TBS champion. A Timu Mercedes Moné, if you will.
Oh, another Meteor into a pinning predicament. Deep cover. Maya explodes out.
Match continues. Is right here, textbook Mercedes Moné. And she has maintained the offense back inside, coming ever so close to moving forward to Wembley Stadium.
At the 30th of August, the winners of both the men's and women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament this year will challenge for their respective world championships. A whip over the top, and Mercedes another one, bringing Maya around, and now Mercedes another Meteor, another pinning attempt, and Maya another escape.
Meteora has certainly paid dividends. To your point, Walker, if she does have a reversal to it, we haven't seen it thus far.
Mercedes, this is the confidence. This is the confidence of a woman that at one time held 13 championship titles, a woman that won the Owen Hart Foundation tournament last year and is looking to make it 2 in a row.
And a woman who has been named by AEW CEO Tony Khan as one of the new 4 pillars of this company, along with Tekla, Carl Fletcher, and Kevin Knight.
Yeah, very simply one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. No doubt. Trendsetter. Changed the women's wrestling world.
Didn't just do that in America, did so in Japan as well, as a former IWGP Women's Champion and Stardom in New Japan.
Now, Aubrey Edwards, she's on the outside checking with Maya World. I'm not sure what type of injury it may be, but Mercedes to the outside, returning Maya to the relative safety of the ring.
Taking umbrage to the support of her opponent, who perhaps she doesn't feel is on the level of a CEO.
A lot of confidence for Mercedes Moné, and rightfully so, but
Backstabber, Mercedes hanging on. That straight jacket.
Yeah, straight jacket backstabber. How about that?
Mercedes, as you mentioned, I've taken umbrage with the lack of the count by Aubrey Edwards. And then, of course, she's there to determine the winner and loser of the match, but she's also there for the safety, the health of both athletes.
To make sure that both competitors can adequately defend themselves and continue the matchup.
And right now, Maya World has absolutely no defense. She can't even cover up right now.
You've seen with both victories on the part of Maya World, Now it only takes 3 seconds, and when their opponents thought they had a
Oh! We questioned when those counters would come into effect. We're seeing it now, gentlemen.
Maya, sunset flip. She had Mercedes tight, but Mercedes rolled back, able to escape. Maya moved to the midsection, hammer throw into the corner. Mercedes.
Oh,
Elevates. Oh, wait a second. Mercedes.
a beautiful
Mercedes.
transition
They need a
into
strong
no.
Maya. And it's scout escapes, and now Maya looks at that backwards bridging suplex, but instead Mercedes able to transition.
I'd like to
Maya
see Mercedes
transitions.
versus
Yeah. Mercedes counters,
Zelina
rolls through,
Vega.
and the stop. Mercedes taking a page out of Maya's playbook.
What a tremendous back and forth by both women that time. Both women.
Mercedes leg hook, cover made, but Maya makes the escape. The butterflies that must be going through the stomach of Maya World, not only competing in the finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament on this global stage, but competing against a woman that she idolized, a woman that inspired Maya to become a professional wrestler. Watching these matches with Mercedes alongside her brother, how meaningful it must be for her to be in this position.
Talking trash to Maya, so you don't deserve to be in the ring with me. Maya World, I'm proving to the contrary.
Spoke to fire in Maya, didn't it? Take a look at this young lady. Oh!
Mercedes handful of hair, Maya again with the up kicks. And now the roll up. And Maya the stop this time. Compressing the CEO.
This is real valuable recovery time right here for Maya World over in this in these ropes here, gentlemen. And definitely a big need as this match rolls on here tonight. Maya World looks to put down an icon and her idol to complete a Cinderella story that no one could have imagined coming to fruition.
Nigel, think back to the first time you competed on a stage like this. This is Maya's biggest match of her career. Controlling your breathing, controlling your emotions is as vital as your offense that you inflict on your opponent.
Absolutely, really. Oh, the mental game just as important as the physical. Maya World, the longer this match goes, the more those butterflies, I believe, will take flight. Oh, beautiful. Cut up into the cover.
The leg hook, cover made. Oh, narrow escape by Mercedes.
That really wasn't even a kick out. She just raised the left arm and pulled it over to the right to get out of it.
To do is make one of those shoulders even an inch off the mat.
That's what she did.
Talked about the influence of Mercedes Moné. That was the influence of Maya's mentor, Athena. Oh, Shining Wizard.
Shining Wizard, that's one of the finishing maneuvers.
Comes through, but too close to the ropes is Maya. A mental lapse there, and it may have cost her the tournament.
That's big match jitters right now for Maya World. She's got to try and overcome this.
The up kick from Mercedes. Now, oh, Maya. Into the ropes, and Mercedes. Now Mercedes. A suplex. Perhaps the Three Amigos.
Yeah, we see it coming. She really can execute a suplex as well as anyone can, Mercedes. And she's feeling it. You can see a smile on her face.
But a mixed reaction for the CEO. I think Maya World may have won over the sickos here in San Jose. But either way, she completes the Three Amigos.
As much as Maya World idolized Mercedes Moné idolized Eddie Guerrero.
I think we all did.
Perhaps she'll be sharing a heaven-side seat with Maya World's brother. I'd like to think so.
Mercedes utter disrespect. Her opponent stepping over. Stepping over her again. And Maya World, she can't afford to be disheartened by something like that from Mercedes. She needs to keep her composure. She needs to keep her head in the game. As Mercedes, the frog splash, oh, Maya, the knees were up, Walker.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is one thing to step into the ring with your idol. It is a whole different ball game to pin them in the ring. I like see it here.
1, 2.
No.
Wow. Oh, Mercedes captures the honor statement maker. She's got Maya trapped center of the ring.
Maya's reaching, but you're right. Center of the ring. It's got her right dead at the E.
Maya's been in this hold before. Knows how painful it is, but in the middle of the most important match of her career.
The only saving grace for Maya is that Mercedes is not on her hip, but now Mercedes adjusts her positioning and forces Maya to try to make the climb of the rope. She does, and Maya, a reversal on Casino! Very nearly the third consecutive upset for Maya World. At some point, you have to stop calling it an upset. But coming against last year's winner, I think the description would be apt. Maya World.
Here it comes, beautiful.
Bridging back suplex, Maya transitions over, maintains control of the CEO.
Is that a good move or not? She had her.
Maya second. Oh no.
Yep. She wants one more.
Can she complete the trifecta?
The hell of an effort.
Wait, Maya looking over her shoulder. And it takes a killer instinct to put down your own hero. Maya World is proving that she has that in spades here tonight.
But was this a mistake? Will we go back and look at this and say she had Mercedes down twice, but the third time just flew out of the ring?
You can look at it from two sides. Certainly more impact and a more awkward landing for Monet. But you can't beat your opponent on the outside other than by a count out, and I don't believe that's happening with the CEO. Watch out.
Maya on the move, building up momentum. Tope suicida from Maya. Looking to go worldwide, looking to go international, all the way to Wembley Stadium is Maya World. Maya lost her footing for a second, regains her composure, finds her spot on the top rope, and Maya, bang! Senton from Maya World, 1, 2, no!
Mercedes was kicking those legs in the air from the count of one and finally got out of it.
1 month ago, if you'd have told me Maya World would be coming close to defeating Mercedes Monet in the final of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, at Forbidden Door, her first pay-per-view, I would have said you were crazy. But we are here. Maya World coming ever so close. Stuck the landing. You can see the reaction from Monet. Pain right down into the midsection, and somehow the CEO continues.
Remember, this match not just to determine who wins the 2026 Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament, but who will challenge for the AEW World Championship on August 30th at Wembley Stadium. Oh, Maya puts on the brakes.
Yeah, that's where Maya World has been watching tapes.
No doubt about it.
Maya, the head of Mercedes, trapped against that top turnbuckle, the thrust kick. And now Maya on the move, sunset flip, powerbomb. Mercedes holding on for dear life on that top rope. Maya releases her grip, Mercedes instead. Counters.
Watch out.
And
couldn't complete. Tries a second attempt.
Mr. Grip.
Yep.
And no.
And again, Maya World putting the brakes versus. And
Maya World did the best she could, making sure that Monet couldn't complete the powerbomb in the corner, but look at this.
I think that may have been better for Mercedes than whatever she originally intended, Nigel.
It was as devastating a maneuver, and here comes.
The knees in the corner. Mercedes brings Maya out, cover, 2. No, Maya still alive in this match, still alive in this tournament.
gentlemen, you can argue the longer that this match rolls on here, the more frustration you're going to start to see worn on the face of Mercedes Monet tonight.
You can see it right there, Walker.
But look how much time Monet has now to compose herself.
Yeah, it was a look of worry, a look of frustration, and then all of a sudden, it's as if Mercedes has an idea of what to do next.
Looks like she's found her center again. Mercedes Moné is really looking to try and put this one away quicker than quick. And has got to put Maya World in position to do so.
Mercedes with Maya inverted center of the ring. That's a lung blower from this position, but she's got a lot of options, including those knee strikes. And Maya reverses. Mercedes rough landing on the back of her head. Maya World on the move. Weaves underneath, rolls through. Pinning predicament, loses control. Mercedes now adjusts, backslide.
Who's going to get the pin here?
Oh, wait. Moneymaker for Mercedes. 1, 2. Kicks out.
Maya World has been waiting nearly a decade to kick out of that maneuver.
Win or lose, somewhat of a coming out party for Maya World, establishing herself as one of the top females in AEW.
Nigel, for whatever butterflies, whatever nerves that Maya World may have been feeling, something tells me that they have quieted down. She is functioning on instinct alone at this point.
Butterflies. Are there any butterflies? They have flown up to the rafters with that chant. Oh, looking for a second attempt.
Maya escapes, ducks underneath, rolls through, bridges back.
Mercedes' strong legs got her out of that one.
Oh, the knee right between the eyes. And now Mercedes, backstabber.
Oh, no, Maya World
Hanging
has
on.
the grip.
Now Maya was hanging out to that middle rope. Disrupted the grip of Mercedes Moné, and now Maya. Maya, the sunset flip. Wow. Maya World pulling out all the stops.
Talked about killer instincts earlier on in the night. Maya World is proving she has such in spades.
And Maya.
Oh, keep your footing, Maya.
The moonsault. And now Maya on the move.
Yeah, get Mercedes in the ring right now. Right now, there you go.
You can feel the urgency for Maya World continuing to build as the final of the Owen Hart Women's Tournament continues to roll on.
Maya the moonsault press from the middle. The cover. 2. No!
You've got to be kidding.
They are on their feet. An impossible dream. Can it come true? Maya World has got to believe it. First of all, the impact to the outside, very little give. A big risk, but it paid off for the challenger here. And then low impact in terms of where the body landed with a deep hook of the leg. Look at the shoulder, just off the mat, but she's there. Maya World is moments away.
No, wait a second, Mercedes. Launch rolls through to Maya. Able to kick out, and now Maya finds herself the statement maker.
Is this it? Is this the moment? Does the world change for Maya World?
Maya World is wrenching back. Look at this. She's got her arm over the nose of Mercedes.
And Mercedes appears to be panicking as she makes the crawl. Maya tightens her grip, wrenches back. Hand fighting from Mercedes.
So close. The CEO desperately.
Maya is fighting the hardest fight of her entire career to try and keep Mercedes Moné in the center. It rolls back to the center. That's a giveaway. Mercedes is ready for her transitions. Maya World is caught in the clutches of the CEO, her own hero, here tonight.
The face of Monet says it all. She desperately wants this match to end. She does not want to lose a match she couldn't dream of a month ago.
And Mercedes dropped the grip, captures the arm, redoubles her efforts. Maya World on top. Can't take a mistake.
Come on, Maya. Keep the dream alive.
Get there. That bottom rope.
Now Mercedes escapes. The backstabber.
Wow.
And Mercedes rolls through transitions. A Stephen Maker with the arm captured. And Maya World. There's the tap. It's all come to it.
The winner of this match and the winner of the 2026 Weighing Heart Foundation Women's Tournament, the CEO
All right, y'all. Peace out. Thanks for coming.